All right, we're live, sir.
All right. We are live. Good morning, all you savages. It's the one and only Gorilla, and he is the cowboy. And we are here live, Algo Factory.tech. And guys, I'll tell you right now, if you're thinking that if this should be for you or not, let me explain something to you. Look, the world's falling apart. The only thing you can control is what you can control. And that is right here, making money with us on Algo Factory.tech. You learn at your own pace. You learn through immersion. And I guarantee you give me 6 months of your time, we will make you a profitable trader. I'm telling you right now, you work your butt off. You grind it out with us. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. There's no easy, two steps to that. But you grind it out with us. I'm telling you right now, this will transform your life. It is one of the few opportunities that you have as an American. And I'm telling you right now, as things fall apart globally, the market is the last stop. And with that being said, Cowboy, we got that QR screen on the flash on the screen. We also got the link in the description box. Join us or die.
Yeah, QR code's on the top right, pasted up there. So click it. Let's jump right into the charts if we're ready to go, V.
Yeah, let's get into it, bro. Let's start off with some BTC.
BTC it is.
BTC.
BTC. I want my BTC. All right, so let me expand the screen and get rid of all this gobbledygook so people don't freak out and go, oh, there's so much stuff on the screen. I could never do this. Not true at all. That's just me and my craziness.
Do not be afraid.
Do not be afraid. It is good. It is what money make. It's what money make. Trust me. It's what we do. Let's see here. So Bitcoin it is. I haven't looked at Bitcoin since yesterday. Oh, yeah. Geez, dude. It's just ready to keep going up. But we talked about this last week.
Yep.
We
it's doing
during
today
our shows
what we said last week.
Go ahead.
It's doing today what we said it would do last week.
Yeah. Well, we said it would do this. It's doing this. I mean, that's just kind of what's going on. And let me see if I go back to the what was that ETF announcement. Let me go back to that in a higher time frame here. Let's go to the daily chart. My daily really is an 18-hour chart. Because it just 18 hours works out better for my algos. But let's see here. Let's go to right here. This was the ETF, right? I'm going to put a line through it to make it easier for people to see on the screen. And let me maximize the screen and do a couple things. Hold on. Let me just make this easier for everybody to see. All right, so this was the ETF announcement when that happened, and that was a big deal, and a lot of people were thinking it would go to the moon, and certainly it appears to be doing that. But I did talk about this for weeks and weeks ahead of time because the ETF was on the map for like everybody, and I did say it would be a sell the news event, and price went down about 20 some odd %. Went down from 48 to 38, and that's pretty big. That's, gosh, I don't know, 22% or something like that. That's a big decrease. And then, of course, it caught down here. And the Gorilla did say, and he said this privately in the Algo Factory live lab. He did say that price would kind of not get too far below this consolidation. The price would eventually catch and just go up after that. And it literally did what the Gorilla said. And why does the Gorilla know these things? Well, it's because of the business that V is in. V helps very, very, very large players with their Bitcoin and their precious metals purchases, right? Their sales and purchases. And so when you're talking to people and doing deals at that high level, these are people who have a really good idea and like all the money in the world to kind of know what's going to happen with the market, right? Like, I mean, I can predict things. I'm pretty good at it, but imagine having the money to pay for, 100 of me, you're going to get a pretty good gestalt. And right now, Bitcoin is just popping up. The weekend consolidation is over, right? So as price continues up, we're looking at this looks FOMO-y to me because you have the look, this is almost like an Elliott wave. And if we take a look at that, it's a little, I would say it's a little too FOMO-y for me to be comfortable applying Elliott wave metrics. And this wave 5 is not continuing too far up. So I don't know about this Elliott wave business right now. I think it's just a market FOMO event. And, if you looked at the video I did on Friday, there are a lot of people concerned that there is going to be a pullback prior to the halving. And while that is what has happened in the past, watch that video and you're going to see I guess I'm answering Valley Girl's question right now. I guess Valley Girl didn't have a chance to watch the video that I did on Friday. So I'd say go back and watch that, Valley Girl. Your question on that video. If you're in Algo Factory, if you're a member of Algo Factory and you're not watching the videos that I do every single day, go watch those. A lot of your questions will be answered. But here is the all-time high for Bitcoin, 69,000. And so everybody's waiting for that pullback, right? Everybody's waiting for that halving pullback. I'm going to tell you right now, when everybody's waiting for something, that's when I plan for it maybe not to happen. The market, I've made more money being a contrarian in my market life than I have otherwise. And quite frankly, I've done better in my life being a contrarian in general, right? The way to make money is to do where no one else will do, is to do what no one else will do. When I was in the insurance business, I made more money working way out in the desert where nobody wanted to work, right? Nobody wanted to go out there. And when everybody got fired because there were workforce reductions, I kept my job because nobody wanted to work out there. And it's the same thing in trading. When everybody thinks one thing is going to happen, there's a decent chance that it won't. Decent chance. And everybody seems to think there's going to be a pullback for the halving. Right now, this may well happen. The video illustrates it on Friday. It's an 8 or 9 minute video. Please go watch it. 20 to 30% pullback is to be expected. It always is. But look, the halving is only it's only really happened once or twice that we can look at from a normal standpoint, right? The last halving was 2020. Prior to that halving was the COVID crash. So there was so much data that may have easily overwhelmed the Bitcoin metrics that it's not really a solid sample because of the insanity that went on in 2020. So we really only have a couple of halvings to look at. And I'm not going to go through it today. Just go watch the video. But I will say that when you only really have 2 halvings, that's a very small sample size. When I backtest, I go through 200 trades, right? Or if it's like a higher time frame, like a 4-hour chart, like algorithm, then I will simply go back as far as like maybe 5 years with a price action. It might be 100 trades, whatever it is. Either way, it's not 2, right? And if anybody's ever worked in data science, or if anybody's ever worked the scientific method, which I have worked in both, I will tell you that the larger the sample size, the better a look that you have on how things are going to behave, right? Like, if you have a, let's just say you're studying the behavior of a person, individual person, and you have like recorded the history of somebody like 50 times, maybe through some kind of program, whatever it is. Well, you can pretty much predict like, well, they did this 48 out of 50 times. So there's a really good chance that that's what's going to happen. But when you don't know that person, and there's only 2 or 3 instances where you could kind of study the way that they reacted to something or whatever it is, you don't really know. It's, well, I mean, we've seen them. I don't really know this person. Like, yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple things the way they acted, but I haven't seen 50 things. And this is literally the same thing with the halving. So everybody like, well, every single halving before this, there's been a pullback. Well, that may be true, but there's only really been 2 that we can look at that don't have large macroeconomic effects on it, aka 2020 crash. So be real careful in be real careful with that. Like, yes, of course, as a trader, this time is different, our famous last words, right? But in this case, we don't really know what's normal, right? For you to say this time is different means that you know what is normal. But when you have a sample size really of 2, not 3, but really 2, you don't know what is normal. You have no baseline right now for halvings. So just be real careful with that. Just be careful. So what is going to happen with the halving? I don't know. I can tell you that the halving is already having its effect where price is heading up. The halving always causes price to head up, right? If you want to know the science behind that, go watch the video. But I can tell you over time, the halving is going to push price up. And look, I mean, this is very, very, very likely that we're going to see a new all-time high prior to the halving, because this 69,000 is essentially the all-time high, depending on what exchange you go to. Now, what is one thing to watch out for is that if there is to be a retracement, and a lot of these things are going to be anointed from on high. You okay there, V?
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah.
So if there is to be a retracement, and these things are I think that okay, so like these whales and stuff, they have a lot of money to look at metrics. And so if they see metrics where, say there's a very long extension in price like we're seeing right now, big long extension upward like that, going back to 2023, there may be a time when the bulls get tired. And when the bulls get tired, that means that the market probably is destined to fall. And if that's the case, then what the bulls may do is try to get a lot of market participants to buy in and panic buy, right? And when that happens, what they're going to do is fill their short orders and then push price down. Once the bulls get exhausted, they're gonna get the bulls to get in. They're gonna cause FOMO. They're gonna get people to panic in, and they will fill. First of all, they'll sell all their longs, and then as the retail is FOMOing, they will add to their shorts. But here's the thing about that: in order for that to work out, in general, the market has to already want to go down, and they can just kind of accentuate whatever the market's going to do. And they'll use news and they'll use all kinds of stuff, but that's the way this goes. So, understand Bitcoin will Hitler candle you into oblivion. Like you'll just, it would not surprise me. Nothing surprises me, right? Bitcoin just goes up to 120,000 next month. That doesn't surprise me. Bitcoin pops up above 69,000 and then just Hitler candles you down to 50,000. Like none of that surprises me. Nothing surprises me. So, here's the thing about like trading. People always want to know what's going to happen in the future. Like, well, we don't know. No one ever knows. Nobody ever knows what's going to happen in the future ever. But what you do is you have a probabilistic model. Like you have data, you put that together, you study the way Bitcoin has acted in the past, and you say, okay, well, this is how things usually go. This is what my algorithms tell me. Here's what the algo kind of looks like on the bottom there. That's like maybe you can take out about half of that stuff, and it's really what an algo looks like. That's just me testing data. But I can tell you everything's bullish right now. Just everything is bullish. There is no part of this that is not bullish on the algos. Highly bullish. I don't see price coming back down unless it's some weird like, if there's something happens in the economy or, if the big players just decide it's time to crush it or, but there's nothing in the charts right now that indicates any kind of slowdown at all. Nothing at all. So, and I don't know, Gorilla, if what I'm saying jives with you.
It does, because one of the things I've been saying for quite some time, and I'll repeat it here again. The powers that be, the guy. Look, I told you guys years ago that this ETF thing is going to happen, and I said even before the ETF thing happened, as we're as we're coming to the end of 2023, going to 2024, I said, look, there's an 80% chance we could have a Bitcoin ETF by the end of 2023. If not, it's going to be in January. Sure as shit, it happened in January. The official announcement started going in, and it became official. It no longer became rumor. It was going to happen. And ever since then, we've been on a trajectory up. Okay, and now you look at where it's going. Where are we headed with Bitcoin? Folks, they want this up so high. They want Bitcoin prices, and our target right now is $105,000 per Bitcoin, and they want it even higher. Why? Because they want it to be so priced, like stratospherically out of the market, that not only does John Public can't afford it, but the smaller family offices can't afford it either. Do you see what I'm saying? So they want, the higher this goes, the better it is for them, because the better the ETF will perform. You see what I'm saying? You can't have the type of volume, and this is something I'll probably leave for the live lab. I'll get into the nitty gritty of it. Maybe I'll get into it on Thursday with the drip. You know what? I'm going to get into it on Thursday with the drip, because Thursday is going to be a very, very insightful insider intelligentsia session on Thursday.
Well, yeah, you were out for like a week, so you got a lot of that intelligence built up, don't you?
Yeah. It's like it's like pent up. It's like pent up intelligence. Yeah, you got to release it.
Right. What does that even mean?
No one knows what it means. That's why it's provocative.
It's 9/11 times 1,000. What does that even mean?
Oh my God, Blades of Glory, great movie. But so they need it high because they need it for that ETF to perform very well. And I'm going to explain to you guys in the live room on Thursday with the drip as to why and where we are and where we're headed and why Wall Street needs six-figure BTC. I'll leave it at that, cowboy.
All right. What do you want to see? You want to see gold? You want to see?
I want to see
Ethereum?
Solana.
Solana, it is. I wonder if it's. I have. This weekend was so nuts. I didn't look at Solana. I was doing a lot of testing over the weekend.
What?
Okay, so it's still hanging out. But this, I mean, like Bitcoin's pushing everything up. So a lot of people are like, yeah, my altcoin, I chose this altcoin and it's doing really well. I'm a genius. Like, no, sorry. For the most part, no. Bitcoin's just pushing everything up. You're not a genius. And look, very few people in trading are geniuses. They think they're a genius because they bought Bitcoin and it went up, right? And so when the market's going high, everybody thinks they're a genius. But the reality is you got in at the right time and you did some minor research and it paid off. And I don't, I don't consider myself a genius either. The market has been kind, right? Now, as time has gone on, I've done a lot of studying and quite frankly, know a lot of the right people. One of them's on the show with me today. And, I do have a pretty good handle on the way to look at these markets, but I stay pretty humble and I understand that the market has been kind. And so what I did, of course, was while I got lucky, if you will, while the market was kind to me, I went ahead and developed a method by which I can extract money out of the market on a regular basis to try to kind of hedge against when things go not my way with the long-term investments, right? So this is what we do at Algo Factory. We actually determine ways to extract money out of the market. And what you're seeing on the screen with this blue and green box, for those of you who had never watched this show, who've been living under a rock, this is a trade, right? So this was something that I actually put out on the for everybody to see on this show. And basically, it was a trade that I drew out prior to the entry, right? I said, hey, this is what I think is going to happen. I mean, I tracked this out. You can go look at these live shows, go back and watch them all. I really recommend that you do. It's a good learning experience, right? Like all this charting we do, just, if you're like a chart hound, go watch these shows. It's like what we do. And I did say price would go in this direction. And as of now, this is in about a 200% profit. So, this I put out there for everybody to see prior to the entry. Like it's right there for everybody. And you're not supposed to just take my trade. You're supposed to do your own research. Like we don't give investment advice. But when you see something like this, it gives you the opportunity to do some research. And then you can, oh, hey, this is a really good idea. And you make your own trade. But look at this, it's 200% profit. And there's like 3 or 4 of these. And I did actually post some of these up on Twitter. And I do believe this is going to go to 144. But right now it is consolidating. And what'll happen when Bitcoin really starts to take off is that we will see a lot of like altcoin money either go out of the altcoins or it'll stay in the altcoins and everything goes up. But when Bitcoin starts to FOMO, if Bitcoin goes above all-time high and we start to see panic buying, there's a decent chance some of these alts might take a hit. Now it's hard to say because it's a real complex picture when Bitcoin starts to go up because you have people taking profit and putting it into the alts. Some alts go up, some alts go down, but dominance tends to go towards Bitcoin when Bitcoin FOMOs. And the same thing happens when Bitcoin actually starts to fall. When Bitcoin starts to drop and it drop hard, then a lot of money will go out of the alts into Bitcoin. That's almost always how it is. It's called Bitcoin dominance. As of now, Solana looks good. It's just in a consolidation. So, I do believe that we'll head up to this 144 target. I've had that target for weeks. I've had it going back to like mid-February, early February, even before all of this like drawings. That is a Fibonacci extension target, that 144. And I've had that target going back to like, December probably, or at least January. That said, there might be some opportunities. This is the daily time frame you're looking at. Each one of these candles is almost a day's worth price action. And there could be, I'm not saying this is what I'm going to do, but there could be another trade right here with a target sitting at 144, but I'd be looking for the right kind of pullback to get into that with a decent stop. I mean, you could see me do a trade like this, which is 2-to-1. I mean, that's reasonable. That's a good, reasonable trade. It's just a question of whether or not this move up is going to get stunted, right? If Bitcoin takes a hard hit, Solana could easily, move down and crash through that. And this is a trade with this trajectory that would take like a week or two. And I'm not really big on those big long trades. I like to get in and out within like an hour or two, because with that, there's just less time for stuff to happen in the economy to screw the whole trade up. So, but yeah, I do expect the Solana to move up to 144. I've expected that for weeks, and you can go back to the shows and it's all documented. So, EURUSD from Brad. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. So I'm going to look at the, don't let this, excuse me, don't let this craziness on the screen like freak you out. I'm going to just kind of back out and take a look at a few things, but I can tell you the euro is bullish. Really what it probably means is that the dollar is bearish right now, at least on a short-term level. But if you look at the euro right at the moment, it is encountering some sort of resistance and it's at a consolidation. So what I would expect from the euro right now, and this is a Forex trade. So for those of you who, again, are maybe unfamiliar with what we do, we do everything, stocks, like there's no market that, our methodology doesn't touch. So, that's something to understand. Like if you trade whatever indexes, or you like to trade freaking pork bellies, whatever it is, as long as there are candles, we can help you learn how to do this. And right now, I do expect the price to break out of this consolidation to the upside. And it may happen anytime. Like it could happen anytime. So I would right now, just by looking at what I saw a minute ago on the crazy screen, I would expect price to come down and then up like this. But also there are some other things I see that tell me price could simply consolidate up at the top here and then pop up like this. Now, where might it go? I have to look at some higher time frame stuff. Now, this is already the 3 hours, so this is like your kind of swing trading time frames. And you can see these little green and red tabs, and that's my algo that I've built. So you can see some real successful trades right in here based on my algo, and this algo will be made available to the general public. This is a downtrend, so I would probably only take the shorts. I mean, these longs are winnable on the way down. They are winnable. But let me actually limit this to what really matters here. Give me a second. Okay, see, that's the algo. All that other stuff wasn't part of it. But yeah, I mean, I could make money on those longs, but the reality is that this is a downtrend, so I would only short. And these are big wins. And it's just the algo just tells me when to get in and out. I don't have to think or nothing. And it's right there for me. So that's what those tabs are. We will have those available. And in this case, yeah, I do believe price will head up, and I think what'll happen is it will make its way up to a certain point. And now, once it makes its way up to the point I'm about to kind of math out here, it could do a lot of different things, right? Like there's no, I'm just looking at what's going to happen soon. So far, it's looking like a move up to $1.968. So $1, for every euro, it's going to be $1.09, almost $1.10. But let me refine this with a little bit of data and see if we can get a more precise target. Okay. So I would, so yeah, I would have a more precise target around $1.90, like $1.09.5. That's where I would think the price went. So if price broke up, let me mark this out really quick and then get rid of some of the noise in the chart. All right. So if price were to head up, the trade that I would take, I'd look at a breakout, and my stop loss might be based on a few different things, but let me just kind of, just throw one up here. This is a swing trade. Again, not my favorite thing. I probably would trade several times on the way up here, but a decent trade might look something like this. And that's a nice 4-to-1. It just depends on what happens with the structure and everything like that. But on a strong breakout, like an even tighter stop can be doable. I'm used to like 4 and 5-to-1s on these higher time frame breakouts, but this is the kind of trade I would take. If price broke out sooner, if we had something that looked more like this, then of course I would wait. I'd trade that breakout. But remember, there are fake outs on breakouts. But at this point, now that this consolidation has matured a little bit, price really is going back and forth within this range in a very predictable manner. Then that breakout might be good to go. And then I will say that because price is overall bullish in this asset, if price were to make its way down to the bottom of this consolidation, I might actually go long. Now, there are those who would trade the shorts as well. They would go short at the top here, and that's great. That's profitable. Right now, the high time frame is bullish, so you are trading against the higher time frame. But by the same token, to go long at the bottom here is not bad. To go short at the top here, really 1, 2, 3 trades look pretty good already. So 2 longs going on 3. So we'll see. That's the euro though. That's what it looks like. Gorilla Sir, we're at the end of the live lab.
Absolutely. Listen, guys, don't sit there wondering this is for you or whether you want to try it out or not. You go try out Rocky Road Ice Cream, but you do Algo Factory, man. Join us. Be a part of something that's going to be awesome, an amazing, vibrant community of traders that help each other, that move organically, that learn through immersion. And most importantly, guys, this is one of the best secondary forms of income that you can create. And if you're really good at it and you work really hard, hey, it could transform your life. It could literally be your primary source of income. You could be your own boss. Very few things in this world give you that opportunity without stacking lotions and potions and pills in your garage. So join us, algofactory.tech. Scan that QR code, hit the link in the description box, and be part of the best trading group on God's green earth, period. Let's get into it, cowboy.
Join us or die.